All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Connor on Chains. So, very important video I want to make for people, for all of you guys and girls. Culture NFTs are going to be a massive narrative. They're going to be huge in the coming months. I guarantee it, no matter what. And I'm literally just going to show you guys a bunch of very strong culture NFTs just across different chains. There are actually a bunch, because a lot of people at the current moment, as my thing just lags, at the current moment, a lot of people are very bearish on NFTs. They haven't even thought about NFTs since like 2021, 2022. Most people that I've seen, especially in my timeline, they literally think NFTs are still dead. And so I'm going to tell you right now why that is completely wrong. You should not be thinking of like that. You cannot think like the rest of the crowd. You need to dig into what, what is hated. You need to dig into what the majority isn't saying. Because NFTs are 100% alive as fuck right now. So I'm going to give you guys, again, a list of top NFTs across chains that I think are just have insane value going forward. So number one, we're gonna start with Retardio, but we're gonna start on Solana. I'm gonna bring up Solana NFTs first, then we're gonna cover some Ethereum, and then some on Bitcoin. This might be a fairly long video, but number one, I think, no question, hands down, number one NFT, you could hold this cycle. And again, I've been preaching this now for 2 months on YouTube, I think maybe even longer than that. And in the group, like I said, I've been talking about Retardio Cousins since these were bottomed out at 3-4 SOL. Sitting at 34 SOL now. These are at an all-time high. I don't think these are stopping. Yes, they're going to come up, they're going to pull back, they're going to bounce around. Then they're going to continue to go up, come back down, bounce around. Well, we still have Solana, ETH, Bitcoin, literally not even at all-time highs yet. And yet we're seeing strength in Retardio going through the roof. I think it's insane. So in my opinion, Retardio Cousins are number one. I'm going to give you a couple reasons why, and then I'm going to get into a bunch of micro cap / lower cap, small NFT projects in a second. But Retardio actually just launched a literal casino, and I've seen a lot of the timeline bearish on that for some reason, which I don't understand. I think this low-key is one of the best moves they could have made in the market. I had no idea this was coming. Absolutely huge move. So they got the whole casino here. Obviously got a bunch of games. You got the prediction market, which I think is probably the biggest thing they have at the moment, is the fact that you actually can bet on random things happening. Because another major reason why I think this is bullish is we have seen Polymarket, which is a crypto native platform, going mainstream very quickly, just because of, betting, and mainly for the election outcome. It's fairly common on Twitter. I've seen, people using Polymarket as a gauge for the odds on whether Kamala's winning or, Trump. But this is exactly like what Retardio is trying to encompass here with their prediction market, But with their prediction market, you can basically bet on anything. There's no cap to this. You can bet on fentanyl versus coke, month to month seizure percent. Like, that's insane. The Viagra market, it's ridiculous. I think it's crazy, but I think this is incredibly culturally driven right now. So I think for the project alone, for the current meta that we're in, this is incredibly bullish. I don't see why them building a platform like this that encompasses, degenerate behavior. Again, I'm not trying to promote degenerate behavior by any means. Like, I don't gamble on casino platforms personally, but, I like the platform for what it is. It looks really good. They have a bunch of games. Like I said, the whole market, sports betting and stuff too. I think it's a great idea overall. Just to I think it just fits Retardio branding literally perfectly. So that is why I really like it and why I'm bullish on it. This is why it just launched, I think, 3-4 days ago. We already got Lieutenant Dan, which I know many of you are familiar with, if he was going to survive or not. It's 16 million views on this. With Retardio Casino, again, just launched days out, and this is already starting to get attention, right? I think something like this in the future, if there are more very weird things happening in the world, again, not that this is weird with Lieutenant Dan, but there are more random events, random things, and Retardio Casino ends up being the platform where people go to bet on this stuff. That is huge. That is a huge outlet for retail to then actually come in and flood into crypto, because they're going to have to learn how to use a wallet, bet their money, go to Retardio's platform, right? And that's going to spark a lot of interest, not even just in Retardio, but in crypto overall. So I don't know. I personally, I think this is the number one NFT on Solana. It just embodies degen behavior more than anything. That's kind of like Retardio's branding. And again, I'm here for it. So number one NFT that you could jump into this cycle. And I'm not talking like this, just jump in for a week and get out. Like, I'm talking just hold, be patient. Excuse me. I think they're very huge. And there's actually a ton of derivative projects that seem pretty interesting from so many of them. There's, right here we got Autismo, Step Cousins, Redactio Cousins, Mind Lady, you got Kinfolks, like Mimimi right here, another one, another derivative. Like, they're all derivatives of Retardio, which is funny because Retardio actually came from My Lady and Remilio, which we'll get into in a little bit. So as far as smaller NFT projects, PsyOp Scouts here, these I've actually been watching for a long time. I do hold a bunch of these. I have for a while. I think this project is, I think it's a very, micro cap type cult on Solana. I think they're incredibly undervalued for what they are. The art, it kind of resembles, kind of like the Retardio type vibe, but obviously like the NFTs itself, it's not the same thing, right? They're going for their own, style, but, trying to maintain that similarity, I guess, if that makes sense. So it's original art, original stuff, which I love. I don't like derivatives at all. Original stuff here, and they actually have a token that, again, I talked about a while ago, and it's finally started to move, which their token is actually called PsyOp on Solana. Very interesting project. I think this is a microcap soul project with an NFT, the PsyOp Scouts attached. I just think it's incredibly undervalued for what it is. They're also building a video game too, which is pretty interesting. I'd be interested to see how that is once it comes out, but as of lately, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty interesting. But these are PsyOp Scouts. Just another interesting lower cap, NFT on Sol. Another one that I think has a ton of potential is actually these NFTs called Unicornios. So, me recording this video now, you guys 100% are going to see the unicorn and memes video probably right before this. But Unicornio NFTs, I think, are very interesting as well. So these are an official, an unofficial, official NFT for the Unicorn and Memes platform / ecosystem. If you guys aren't familiar with that, I'll link that video above. But overall, I think the art is very cool. Kind of like a similar, I I don't say similar style. It's not like Retardio at all. But the vibe of it, I think, is just dope. I think this art is really cool, super clean, and the further you get, they actually have different styles of these unicornios too. Let's see if I can scroll to a bunch. Yeah, I don't know if I can find any here, but overall, I love this art. You know, and I think, again, the reason why I love NFTs around ecosystems is because NFTs right now are culture driven. They are to further your identity with a meme coin or a strong community already. You know, and I think these are going to be top performers on Sol. These might take a little bit of time. Again, this ecosystem is very new. It might take, when I tell you, maybe a month, couple months, you know, to really start moving, getting traction. But like I said, I think these literally under 2 Sol, I think, is nuts. I easily could see these at 10 to 20 Sol minimum. Again, not tomorrow, not in a week, but it might take months from now. But you need to have patience and actually believe in something. You got to believe in it if you're going to buy into this or jump into it. And not financial advice, just giving you guys on my opinion on all these different NFTs today, okay? But I think this is a bet on the uwu / unicorn and memes ecosystem, right? That's my thought process with these. Another one, super undervalued, Yakub, creator of the white race. This to me is another cult coin, very undervalued. It actually, I think it had a huge candle, huge wick to I think 7 or 8 million the other day, just from going like literally a week before it was like 1 million or 2 million. But you can see same thing, you know, charts had a huge run, bottomed out, starting to move again. You know, I mean, this is 0.8. It's actually at, oh no, I'm sorry, it's technically already up here, like all-time highs right now. But yeah, I think these NFTs as well, definitely gonna go a lot higher. This again, culture NFTs are the NFTs that are going to start moving and printing. And Yakub NFTs, I think these are just, I mean, it's Yakub. If you guys do not know, I want you to look into it. Again, there's not too much to look into it. I think it's just funny. I think it's a funny NFT project. Incredibly strong community though. You can check all this stuff out as well. And again, they also have a token. Let me see. I don't know if the website is loading. But they've merged too. You know, this is funny too. The shout out from Trump too. I don't know. I think this is just a great community. Again, with good NFTs. I've seen some people rocking these NFTs. And they also have another derivative NFT of these, which is Yakubio. I think these are actually really funny. It's like literally Retardio style Yakub NFTs. But, you know, very similar to the other ones, right? So I've seen these a lot too, but like you get what I mean. They literally resemble like Retardio cousins, but it's Yakub. So pretty funny stuff. This is another undervalued cult-like community on Sol / NFT project. And maybe not Yakubio. I don't know how well those are gonna run because those aren't the actual NFTs associated with Yakub. But these are, and I know these are going to perform very well over time. But same thing, another undervalued actual cult. I'm showing you guys literal cults that are not just, you know, JPEG meme coins. Another one, which these I think are very undervalued. I actually don't hold these, but I think these have lots of upside and potential going forward as well. Is Glorps. They have a token, which I don't know what the token is at. I think it's the same thing though. It's starting to recover a little bit. But same thing. Glorp NFTs, you know, they're literally like this cat, alien like cat, which I actually like these. I think they're kind of cool. Another one here, pretty interesting. Again, I don't own these, but very interesting stuff. There's another one too. We have Wifey Station. These, again, a lot of these NFTs that don't have tokens attached to them, it's going to be really interesting to see how they kind of grow over time. This one had a huge mint, literally late August. These I saw these go up to like, whatever. I think it was 7, 8, 9, 10 SOL, something high, and they've just been going down for a while, starting to recover, but very small supply, not even 1,000. These potentially have some potential. I mean, I really don't look at NFTs by the market cap. I mean, at 100K, that's tiny, right? If you looked at it by market cap, but small supply. Floor is literally just over a SOL. But same thing, these could be something in the future. I don't know. The main thing is I have not looked into this as a literal community yet, because with these NFTs, community is going to be key. I just think these definitely have potential for what it is over 95% of other projects. Another one that is incredibly undervalued, which this one does not have a token either, but these have been NFTs that have been around for a while on Solana. I think like a long time. Let me see. But these are self-driving mega worms. Oh, I'm sorry. So not that long. All the way from April. But yeah, these are dirt cheap. But looking it's all just part of the schizo type meta, These are pretty interesting NFTs as well. But again, I don't know about this one specifically. This is just one I'm thinking of right now that seems pretty interesting. I'd say those first 4 that I brought up, Psyop Scouts, obviously Retardio, but Psyop Scouts, Yakub, Glorp, those are definitely some undervalued ones on Solana. I think most of these are gonna... Oh, another one is Kobe right here. These are incredibly undervalued too. Kobe is an upcoming cult on Solana, like zero question. Kobe is going to go way higher than it is. It's already had a huge pump this week, but seems like the NFTs are kind of lagging. And no, they're not. They're actually all-time highs. So yeah, NFTs are still very cheap for what they are. But yeah, I think these are eventually eventually going to be worth something. Really good stuff here. So outside of these are on Solana. I just made the 20-minute video just on Sol NFTs. So, yeah, why don't we go to ETH now? I'm going to try to make this video or finish up soon. There are mainly 3 or 4 on ETH that I want to show you guys. Number 1, My Lady Maker. My Lady and Remilio are still probably the number 1 long-term cult coins. These coins or these NFTs are kind of where the cult meta mentality came from. This is basically where they were kind of born from. Okay, so maybe the chart on Magic Eden just doesn't go back too far, because like these are all the way back from like 2021, 2022 or something like that. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it only goes back a few months. All right. But yeah, this is where cult community started. It was literally from this project. Because I remember even like in 2022, 2023, I would look at this, anyone that had a Milady PFP, I always thought of them differently, not in a good or bad way. But I thought of this NFT community specifically was just way different than most NFT communities were at the time. And again, I didn't think of them in like a bad way, but I just knew that they were so different. They were just very culty, and I kind of felt that literally years ago, and they've maintained that status, and they became the literal forefront of the cycle so far, Yeah, my bad. I'm like losing my throat here. But then we got Remilio. Redacted Remilio babies sitting at 0.8 ETH. Yeah, I think Retardio has now surpassed them in price, which is pretty interesting. I've seen a lot of Retardio people and Remilio, Milady. beef all the time, and I honestly don't know why there's so much beef with it. But seeing these is pretty interesting. These are probably a top cult on Ethereum. Zero questions, hands down. In my opinion, the number one upcoming cult, we got Mog Auras. So same thing. I've been talking about these for a little while, but these are having an insane run right now. Because yeah, Mog Auras, they have been out for a long time. And of course these you can't even see. On the daily doesn't show up. But these are having a massive run right now. Excuse me. Floor is almost half an ETH, about 0.4 ETH. Legitimately 2 weeks ago, these were sitting at 0.02, I think. Like, these have had an incredible run the last legitimate 2 weeks. They're up crazy. Because the other two ETH cults, we got Sproto Gremlins, which, if you guys are not familiar, Sproto Gremlins are associated with Ticker Bitcoin, or, Harry Potter, Osama. Oh my god, I can't even say it. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, Inu. So these have been catching a bid as a top Ethereum cult NFT. Same thing. I'm literally just showing you guys the NFTs within the strongest cults in crypto. That is all you need to know with these, and why they're going to continue to perform long term. Basically, whatever meme coin starts to build a cult community, if they have really good NFTs and people start to actually rep those NFTs because they want to feel, they want to embody their meme coin more than just holding the token, that is why these culture NFTs are fucking massive. The Sprotos are killing it, up to 2 ETH now. But for me personally, I think Mog Auras are mispriced. That looks better like this. Literally glitching right now, but this actually looks correct. These should be at 2 ETH. But then the last one is we got Aeons, which did I just see? Yeah, right here. These are at 1.6 ETH. This is associated with SPX. These are I don't know if they're literal officially from the project team itself, or if these are cult community driven NFTs, but these are the NFTs associated with SPX on ETH. The coin that's had one of the most insane god candles I've ever seen in crypto history, yet people are FOMOing their asses into that candle, which is unbelievable to me. But on ETH, those are probably literally the only 5 NFTs you ever need to look at currently, as of right now. Might change in the future. My Lady Remilio, Mog Auras, Sproto Gremlins, and SPX. You're basically talking Mog, Ticker Bitcoin, and SPX. Those are the 3 ETH culture tokens. I call it the trifecta, and these are the 3 literal NFTs associated with it. Again, Mog Auras they're not officially associated with Mog. It was a community-driven NFT project, but are kind of associating them with the project because they've been around since I think a couple months after Mog actually was launched. So they've been around the whole time, and I love that. I love to see that, and it seems like a lot of people are starting to rep these on Twitter. I'm very bullish. For me, I think a minimum 1 ETH to 2 ETH as a floor, I think, is a minimum, especially with Mog going to billions. These easily can rip to crazy numbers long term. But like I said, on ETH, those are the top culture NFTs. Sol, I gave you guys some top culture NFTs currently. Top culture NFTs on Bitcoin, though. Bitcoin Puppets, 100%. Bitcoin Puppets is the number 1 cult on Bitcoin. 0 questions, hands down. And they're already starting to pick up a little bit more. But in my opinion, I think these are just going to excuse me. these are going to have just a nice slow grind back up to their all-time highs. What else? I've rarely ever seen node monkeys on my timeline. I I think they're pretty strong as a community, but dude, I'm not feeling it. I don't know what it is. I don't think node monkeys are it. I don't care what anyone says. You know, I Bitcoin puppets I think are the ones. You know, and again, I'm not trying to throw hate at any project specifically, but it's just culturally community driven. I don't see it with these Billy Cats potentially because BDC $1 billion cat token is a rune token, which I'm actually going to make another video on runes very soon. I'm probably going to go back into what I'm talking about here anyways. But Billy Cats are starting to pick up. I think these have a lot of potential because it seems like $1 billion cat is one of the top rune projects, aka also one of the top like meme coins on Bitcoin, right? Strength here is just undeniable. And then Opium are just, you know, smaller supply that, you know, I think these came before Bitcoin puppets, so of course these are a powerhouse. Bitcoin Wizards definitely something massive, you know, with the wizard token. And then we got Bitcoin Frogs. Bitcoin Frogs, I think the community's dope, but I'm just surprised that these are literally sitting this low. You know, 6 months ago, even maybe longer, these were sitting at 0.4. But as of right now, main cult on Bitcoin is literally Bitcoin puppets here, potentially BDC Billy Cats. I would say Ordinal MaxiBiz is a huge Bitcoin cult because they go deeper than just, you know, an NFT. They go very deep with their lore, stuff that goes into it. So Ordinal MaxiBiz is probably another one that I feel like a lot of people don't really bring up too often. These as well. FTW seem pretty interesting. They've been attacking me on Twitter in a good way. They seem pretty strong of a community. Nat Cats as well. But I'd say number 3 for the top, I'd say maybe top 3 to 5 on Bitcoin is Based Angels here. I think of Based Angels as the retardio of ordinals. Now these have not even started their run yet. They've had hype, they've lost hype. They've been flat for months. And they're still sitting, you know, well under even 0.01 Bitcoin. But I think these have a ton of potential. You know, they're listed officially as, you know, an official Remilio derivative on one of the Remilio platforms. You know, kind of the same thing as Retardio. You know, it's kind of like a verified derivative. Same thing with these. Community is very strong. They're not as, you know, schizo and crazy like Retardio, but overall, I think these are probably my highest conviction bet on the Bitcoin ecosystem outside of, you know, pups and those other couple I mentioned. But I'd say those two are incredibly strong for right now. Bitcoin puppets, potentially Billy Cats. Ordinal MaxiBiz is fairly strong. But I'd say definitely Based Angels, Billy Cats is probably 1 and 2. Bitcoin puppets, Based Angels. I can't even talk today. OMB here and Bitcoin Wizards are potentially, you know, really strong ones as well. And then also Billy Cats. So potentially those 5 are very strong. Outside of that, you know, I'd have to see a lot more, honestly, just a lot more attention to a lot of these. I think I'd have to see just on my timeline, see what kind of pops up, do a little more research, but those are probably the top bets on Bitcoin. Bitcoin puppets, Based Angels, you know, then like I said, Billy Cats, OMB, and then Bitcoin Wizards. Potentially, those few on Bitcoin have incredible potential. So I mainly just gave you guys some of the only NFTs that are actually going to do anything like in the future of this cycle. If you guys are holding old NFTs of 2021, 2022, you should not be holding them unless for some reason the entire NFT market comes back just like it was 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't think any older projects, unless they start to offer actual really good utility, I don't see them coming back anytime soon. I think culture NFTs, basically NFTs attached to top meme coin communities, are going to be the clearest winners going forward. It's that simple. So outside of that, my throat is gone, and I appreciate you guys watching. And I hope we can come back to this in like 6 to 12 months, relook at the floor prices, and just come back to it. So outside of that, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.